Heaven's California.
Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a video to top 5 most sadistic serial killers still at large. It was recommended by Samy Heath, or I don't know how to say your last name, Heath or I'm just going to say Heath. Could you please react to the Scary Mysteries video with a link? So yes, obviously I will. This one's about 15 minutes long, so not too bad. At least it's not 47 like that other one. Like, I'm not judging. I get it, you know, if you want to react to it, sure, fair enough. But I just hate long videos. This one's not too bad. The ones prior to the Happy Tree Friends were even longer than this. So, alright, yeah. So top 5 sadistic serial killers still at large. This is not gonna be fun because I do not live. I don't know what to say about this. I'm just gonna get into it because I don't want to guess anymore. I hate, like, I don't know. I always try like saying a little preview, but I obviously don't know what to expect. I know what to expect here, but
It's estimated that a murder happens approximately every 60 seconds.
you're kidding,
Many
right?
of them happen for reasons like survival, revenge, and rage. But sometimes there are people who murder in order to satisfy far more sinister desires. The next 5 people committed heinous crimes. They mercilessly attacked, tortured, and killed their victims without any sense of remorse. And every single one of them is still out there, enjoying a life of freedom.
That's awful.
They may be planning their next attack, or maybe even be someone you know personally. These
That'd be
are the
pretty damn
top
scary.
5 most sadistic serial killers still at large. Number 5, the vending machine murders. At 52 years old, Haru Otsu had a typical morning. He was going fishing, and before he set out, visited one of the many vending machines found on almost every corner in Japan. He bought a couple of beverages called Orinamen C, a vitamin-infused drink that was his favorite. Once out fishing, he drank his second bottle, and halfway through began to feel sick. By the afternoon, he was rushed to the hospital, suffering from severe stomach pains, and the next night, he was pronounced dead. He was the first victim of the Japanese vending machine killer. Also known as the paraquat murders, the vending machine killer hunted innocent victims by lacing drinks with the poisonous herbicide paraquat. This substance is also commonly used in suicides, and if ingested in ample dosage, victims will start feeling nauseous before they begin vomiting. Over time, it will cause lung congestion and convulsions, ultimately leading to death. The first murder happened on April 30th, 1985, in Fukuyama, Hiroshima. After Haru, 11 more people were killed using poisoned drinks between September 11th and November 17th that year. The killer's MO would be to place the drink near or inside the vending machine dispenser. Once the victim buys a drink, he or she would find 2 drinks instead of the 1. They would simply think they got lucky and not consider the danger of taking the extra drink. After 1 million or so warning stickers were posted all around Japan on nearly every vending machine, the murders finally stopped after the 12th victim. To date, no one has been captured for the crime. In fact, this rogue killer is still at large and continues to inspire a host of copycats and people looking to commit suicide in the same manner of poisoning.
Well, looks like I'm not going to a vending machine. Not that I normally do anyway,
Number
but
4,
nope, I'll join
the
that
Long
one.
Island serial killer. Considered to be one of the most prolific unknown serial killers in the history of New York, the case of the Long Island serial killer continues to baffle people even after 2 decades.
2 decades.
It started with a hunt for a missing escort named Shannon Gilbert, who was last seen running around the Long Island neighborhood of Oak Beach in a blind panic on May 1st, 2010. Instead of finding Shannon, the police found another young woman's dead body. They then widened the search grid and surprisingly found 3 more bodies, all of them young women. As the search continued, authorities eventually turned up a total of 10 bodies, but they believe the killer is responsible for more. Currently, there are over 10 to 17 deaths associated with the Long Island serial killer. The majority of the victims were women involved in the sex trade, and all had advertised their business on Craigslist. It is believed that the killer's MO included luring these women to his car and then brutally strangling them while he raped them. He then dismembered their bodies before placing them inside burlap sacks and throwing them into the shrubbery along stretches of Gilgo Beach, Long Island.
Oh my god.
Most of the remains were left undiscovered for years, even decades, until the search for Shannon. Among the victims was an Asian male who had been wearing women's clothes. There was also a woman and her toddler daughter as well.
Oh
Because they went undiscovered for so long, many of the bodies still remain unidentified.
That's awful.
Right now, the case is still open. Police have no leads as to the identity of the killer, but believe he resided in Long Island, but might have possibly left after the intense media scrutiny of the case. They also profiled him as a white man in his 20s to 40s, who at some point had access to burlap sacks, which the killer used to stuff most of the victims in.
That's awful.
As of 2015, the FBI has been officially asked to join the case, but because the murders are of prostitutes and not ordinary working people, they most likely will remain on the sidelines. Unless the murders continue or new evidence is discovered, it's likely the Long Island serial killer will never be caught.
Yeah, again, you never know who anybody is. It's
Number
terrifying.
3, the monster of Florence. Florence, Italy is a place that conjures up romance, beauty, and intrigue. But a dark shadow was cast on the city between 1968 and 1985, when citizens were under siege by a killer known as the Monster of Florence. This serial killer managed to commit around 16 murders during that time span, most of which were couples. The Monster of Florence, aka Il Mostro, would stalk and then attack cozy couples in secluded spots, shooting them first with a .22 caliber Beretta and then disfiguring them with stab wounds before mutilating the woman's sexual organs.
Oh my god.
The woman's genitals were surgically sliced and removed, and the breasts cut off to be taken as trophies.
What?
Police initially thought his first victims were teenage sweethearts,
Oh my
Pasquale
god.
and Stefania, who were killed in 1974. The two were parked in a secluded country lane having sex inside their car when they were attacked. Both were shot dead, and Stefania's body was disfigured with 97 stab wounds. Her body was then sodomized with a grapevine, and her private regions cut out. However, it seems Il Mostro had killed several years earlier in 1968, when a philandering wife and her lover were shot dead in the car using the same .22 caliber Beretta. The woman's son was sleeping in the back seat and left alive, but was too traumatized to recall anything that had happened. A man was charged, and he even confessed to the killing, but nevertheless the crimes continued even while he was in prison. Il Mostro piled on more victims in the following years, killing twice in 1981 and once between 1982 and 1985. His last known victims were a foreign couple. Their bodies remained undiscovered for some time, so the killer sent a letter to the state prosecutor's office along with a piece of the victim's breast, taunting them about finding the bodies.
Holy shit.
Some of the victims had shared with their friends or coworkers about seeing or even being bothered by an odd or unpleasant man prior to their murders. These led investigators to believe the monster most likely stalked his victims beforehand.
Probably.
There were plenty of suspects, and some were even charged and later on acquitted, so the Monster of Florence still remains free. If he's alive, he's suspected to be around 60 to 75 years old. As recently as 2014, a string of murders happening to prostitutes called the Crucifixion Killings in
Here we go
Florence
again.
has women being raped, tortured, and killed in horrific manners. It has many people believing the monster might be back. The
Probably.
murders are so severe that one woman even died of sheer fright when she suffered a heart attack while she was forced to watch her own mutilation.
Oh my god. This is awful,
Number
man.
2,
Holy
Highway
crap.
of Tears. On a 450-mile stretch of Highway 16 that winds around the center of British Columbia, 18 women have disappeared. The locals call the stretch of road connecting Prince George and Prince Rupert the Highway of Tears. Most of these girls were indigenous, living on impoverished
I think
Indian
I've heard of this in
reserves
class
and
or something
isolated
at some
towns
point.
in the area.
I swear I've heard of this.
The disappearances over the highway have gone on for over 4 decades, beginning in 1969 and happening most recently as 2011. Many of the girls were hitchhiking when they disappeared, However, some were simply near the highway or at a service station.
That's awful.
Although the official number of victims, according to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, is 18, they believe the number could be far higher, reaching upwards of 43 and possibly more. Among the victims were 16-year-old Ramona Wilson, who disappeared when she left for her home to attend a dance in June 1994.
That's awful.
Her remains were found 10 months later, close to a nearby airport by a couple of guys on an ATV ride. Another victim, Tamara Chipman, was a 22-year-old mother who was last seen hitchhiking on the highway. Madison Scott was another. She was 20 years old and camping near the highway when she went missing in 2011. One of the main suspects is a young man named Cody Legebikoff. In 2010, when Cody was just 20 years old, he was pulled over on the Highway of Tears for driving erratically.
Okay.
When officers approached the car, they found Cody with blood smears on his face and legs and a pool of blood on the driver's mat.
Mm-hmm.
He claimed he had clubbed a deer to death, telling police, "I'm a redneck. That's what we do for fun." But he had no deer with him. Police then traced his truck tracks back up the road towards the woods, and that's where they found the body of Lauren Leslie. She was a 15-year-old legally blind girl who had been raped and beaten to death with a blunt object.
That's awful. Holy shit.
After his arrest, DNA linked Cody to 3 other murders of women in the area. However, given that he was born in 1990, he can't be linked to all of the murders, and so it's believed that the Highway of Tears and the many women killed along it is the work of multiple killers. How many exactly? No one knows.
It's so scary just to think that like everyone was killed so like brutally.
Number 1.
Raped, assaulted.
The original Night Stalker. Many of you might not have heard of the original Night Stalker.
I haven't.
Unlike Ted Bundy and other famous murderers, this serial killer and rapist doesn't have his face ingrained in popular culture. In fact, nobody even knows who he is. Also dubbed as the East Area Rapist, the Diamond Knot Killer, and more recently, the Golden State Killer, it's estimated that this unidentified maniac has raped more than 50 women and murdered 12 people all throughout Southern California in the years between 1979 and 1986. Many of his crimes went unconnected until they were tied together using DNA evidence, showing the killer's prolific crime spree. As the East Area Rapist, he preferred to attack women who lived in single-story houses and in middle-class neighborhoods. It is believed he studied his subjects before attacking them, gathering extensive information beforehand so he could pick the perfect moment to attack.
It's so
He would
scary.
often call his victims before and after the attacks. If someone picked up, he would either pretend it was the wrong number or sometimes openly threaten them. One such recording happened in 1978 when he called one of his victims and left the following disturbing message on her answering machine.
That's like three gunshots. 4. 5. That's not breathing. Bitch. Fucking whore.
After gaining confidence from these crimes, the killer soon escalated and began attacking and murdering couples. He'd wait until late at night before entering the couple's home. Then he'd wake them up and threaten to shoot them if they didn't do as he said. The victims would be tied up using rope he brought with him. which he had a habit of tying in diamond knots, which is how he earned the nickname of the Diamond Knot Killer. He would then separate them and rape the woman in a nearby room. He often placed plates or breakable cups around the male, so he'd be alerted in case he managed to break free. To this day, all police have is a profile. They believe he is a white male who dresses well and would fit right inside an upscale area. He is possibly unmarried, or if married, has a submissive partner, and is intelligent and articulate, and possibly has a criminal record as a teenager that was expunged. They also believe he is a sexual deviant and might be familiar with military or police investigations. Currently, the FBI is still looking for him and has now offered a $50,000 reward for information leading to arrest or conviction of the killer. So there were 5 of the most sadistic serial killers still at large. The acts of violence these people committed is so insane that it's hard to believe they aren't works of fiction. Not only did they actually happen, but all of them are still out there, walking among us every day. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other videos, and remember to subscribe to our channel so that each week we'll be able to bring you another scary mystery to enjoy. We'll see you next week, and thanks again for watching.
Okay, if you guys are going to suggest videos, I don't mind these videos, but like, I don't want to hear about this shit. Like, this is depressing, man. Like, oh my gosh, like, that's awful. Like, I don't want to, like, I don't, obviously I react to horror stuff, that's fine, but like, I don't want to like go outside one day and just like see someone following me, and then I'm like, great, that's it, I'm dead because of this video, like, you know what I mean? Like, now I feel like I'm going to be more alert than I already am. I feel like when I go for a bike ride, which I don't do now because of the virus, I don't want to go outside anyway. I go for walks sometimes, well, every day usually, but I wear a mask. You know, like, I don't want to like feel this way all the time. Like, that's scary because like, you never know who the fuck is following you. You know, you never know if it's someone you know, and it's fucking scary to even think that like, hey, maybe someone you know. That's just ridiculous. Like, that's just horrendous. Like, just even think, just how like brutally they were murdered and stuff. That's just like, how do you even do that? Like, how do you kill someone like that? I don't understand how you kill someone in general. Like, even by accident, I feel like a total shithead. The fact that you did it on purpose, intentionally raping then killing, like, what the fuck? Or dismembering them, cutting off their boob. What are you doing? Like, you seriously have to have something like really going on up there to like, you know, have this like deviance or have this urge to like murder and so brutally, you know what I mean? It's just insane how you actually go through with that too. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even understand. That's just terrifying. Like, I don't even want to think about this anymore. Even editing this, I'm not gonna watch it. Like, half the time I don't watch my videos that I play back because I don't want to see myself. But you know. So again, if you guys want me to react to videos, try not to have it like this. Like, I don't mind your suggestion, obviously, like, send me, but I don't know, like, it just makes me like nervous because like, I don't want to like, ugh. And like, same thing with YouTube. Like, I don't know if I was watching me on YouTube. Like, it just makes me more nervous. Checking held for review, nothing. Because like yesterday, I checked my held for review, 6 comments, all suggestions. I was like, fuck, I thought I only had 1 video to do today, and now it's 7. So it went up drastically. Again, not that I mind, but nothing better to do anyway, not working. This is basically, it is my job, I guess, so. Anyway, I will resume my videos after I go for a walk, and then I'll resume, and then I will upload and go from there. But thank you guys for watching, like, comment, and subscribe, and keep up with the suggestions, just maybe not as horrible as this. Maybe more Happy Tree Friends, something, well, I mean, that's still killing, but at least it's fake, it's not real. And by the way, that's only the video, that's only top 5. Like, there's probably another, like, 100,000. Like, who the hell even knows how many people there still are? And how many people live in your country, city, province, state, whatever the hell it may be. Territory, I don't know. It's scary. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.